Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Good morning, welcome back. So this week here in Northport, I've got a Winnebago Adventure coming in that's got possibly some electrical problems. We're going to look at that. And then on Tuesday, I've got a 2000 model Prevost coming in. It actually has dual therm basement airs in it. So we're going to be taking a look at that and see what we can do with that. But yeah, the Winnebago Adventure is this morning, so should be here in a few minutes. Shows up, we're going to get going on that. All right, so 6536 that I pulled out of a Prevost bus over on the east coast of Florida. We're initially having some higher amp draws, but look at this. Somebody too lazy to pull the top off, so they go in there and cut part of the top off. But I want you to see this. Clamp on tap. Which again, I tell you folks, that's a no-no, because what's it done? It's leaked. But the other thing that's concerning, where's the bearing? There's no bearing on the fan. The bearing's gone. So that's not good either. So you can see how much oil's been thrown up in here. But yeah, no clamp. We don't use those. And no fan bearing. So yeah, there's some and this thing was all up against, you can see where it was rubbing real bad, so that's got to be dealt with. But yeah, I mean, this is some low-cost repair. You took it to the wrong person to do this repair. Now I'm going to fix it the right way. Next project here in the shop is this 2000 Winnebago Adventure. Now, this customer, I had sent him some parts back last year, and he was having some issues getting it running. So he brought this over to me. And so the first thing that we found, and a lot of you guys see these jumpers that are on the relays up here. If you ever see those, get rid of those, because what originally was happening was they had it wired like that, and then the jumper went between the top and the bottom. Get rid of the jumper, put them together. And it doesn't matter if they're on the bottom or on the top, they just got to be together. So you can see I've got compressor one legs together, compressor two legs together. Now, the other thing that I found on this, which was a little odd, and I don't know what was going on there, but somebody had an orange wire going from the top of the PTC tied in with the compressor too. I don't know what that was about, but obviously we eliminated that. And then on some of these older models, we've seen some issues with the IntelliTech. So again, this was up on comp coil 2 and then coming over here to this. And again, I just plugged those together because I've seen issues over the years with the IntelliTech side of this. So we're gonna eliminate that. I've already ran this unit on my test box, as you can see. 25 differential on cool, 30 differential on heat. So now that I've tested with the test box, we're gonna run it with his thermostat. We know the unit is good. Good amp draws, good differential temperatures, so we're going to run it with his thermostat now and see what we got. It's a little chilly out here today, so we are going to be running in heat pump first. I'm going to let that get the coach up the temp a little bit, and then we'll kick it over to air conditioner mode. But as you can see, that's compressor 1, compressor 2, not far behind. So again, you know, using the test box, we can verify the functionality of this. Now, this does have an original thermostat, so we just want to make sure that the thermostat's not giving any problems. So right now, we're just going to run it through and make sure, and then we'll put it over in air conditioner mode here in just a minute and re-verify. Next project here in the shop is this 46516, and I can tell you, when I fired it up a minute ago, this compressor 1 was just rattling, making all kinds of noise. Now, look how long that stem is. Now, I always cut those stems off real short, because what ends up happening is they vibrate and they break, and all the freon comes out of it. Now, I want you to look at this real close. See that? So that's exactly what this one did. It vibrated and broke, and all the freons come out of there. It's ruined this compressor ruined compressor number 1 because it's been run without Freon in it. So I'm gonna disable compressor number 1, and we're gonna retest compressor number 2 just to make sure we don't have an issue there. But yeah, definitely somebody's been in there, and we don't know why. So this is always the part that scares me, is because why did they put a tap on this thing? Why were they in here messing? You know, I don't see any visible signs of oil leaking out of here. So again, this is always scary when I run into situations like this, because I don't know why they did that. What was the original problem? So we're going to dive into this and see if we can figure it out. All right, so next project here at the shop is this 2000 model Prevost that was built out by Royal. Now, this one here's got 2 dual therm basement airs in it. Obviously, dual therm's gone. I still got a few parts around to make this stuff work, but I want you to look at this. I'm going to show you what's going on here, because I promise you, since the day this was built, this has never worked. And I'll show you why. So, this fan has obviously been added in here. Somebody's done this because they're trying to get some airflow. But the problem that I'm seeing right here, number 1, and this is why I tell you this has never worked. This is no better than what we saw in the River Ranch. Now, dual therms units pulled air from the top. The problem is it's pulling from the bay. There's absolutely no way that this is pulling from upstairs. Now, this one's got bus air, and it looks like they tried to put some holes maybe in that to try to draw air down here, but it's never worked right. I mean, I guarantee you this thing's never worked right. Now, they tried to foam it in. This is what River Ranch tried to do. They tried to foam it in on both sides, and they had some nice covers that tried to hide all this, but you're never going to seal all this stuff. You're never going to seal the areas that's pulling back in there. So I promise you, since the day this was installed, this has never worked. Now let's go over here on this other side. I'm going to show you what's going on here, because, you know, everybody gets mad at these basement airs, and everybody gets frustrated. And I hear these stories about, well, we don't like our basement airs because they don't cool and they don't work. And, you know, we'd rather have rooftops, or, you know, we'd rather do something different. Well, guys, the manufacturer of the bus, Royal has screwed everybody on this deal. I mean, you guys, they're complaining about the air conditioner not working, but the air conditioner's not even hooked up right. I mean, it can't pull. It needs to have some kind of ductwork that goes from there to the top of here. You can't foam this and close this off and expect this. It's never going to work. It's no different than the River Ranch, and you guys have seen me talk about those all the time. Now, here's the other problem. Look at here. Somebody has been in here with taps. And what have I said about those taps? If you want to screw your customer, put a set of clamp-on taps, because them son of a guns eventually are going to leak. I don't care how good you seal them off. I don't care what you do, them son of a guns are going to leak. Every one of them I see leaks. This unit's the same way. So, more than likely, what somebody's been doing, they've been in here playing with the charge because they think it's a Freon issue. This is not a Freon issue. This is literally an installation problem. Now, do we have a Freon issue now? Probably, because somebody's probably been messing with this. I can tell you, compressor on that other unit's bad because the Freon's probably gone. Pressure's locked up. So we're going to have to go in here and pull this unit out on the other side and see what's going on here. So, again, don't understand why the unit don't work? Well, there's part of the problem. There's no duct work. It'll never work. It never worked on the River Ranches. It never worked on this. So, we got to pull this unit out, and we've got to get it in the shop and see what's going on. That story all the time. I don't like my basement air. My basement air don't work. Blah, 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 blah. There's nothing wrong with that basement air. I promise you, that's gone. But when I get done, it'll work. But it ain't never going to work if that duct work ain't done right. And this is the conversation I had with the customer was I can pull every miracle out of my bag. I can put special Freon in this thing. I can do a lot of magic right here, but unless I fix that ductwork, this son of a gun ain't never gonna cool. I don't care what I do to it. It ain't never gonna work. So we got to get the unit working, and we're gonna do a diag on the unit right now just to see where we're at with it. But we've got to figure out why the unit don't work. Once we get the unit working, then we're gonna fix the ductwork, and we're gonna resolve this. Now, however the ductwork's done inside the coach, I'm not gonna be able to help him on that. But I can at least get the hot air from here back down to the unit so we can get the cold air back up in there. That I can help him with. So we're gonna dive into this now and see where we're at. All right, so you can see I've got the unit out. Now this is what I wanted to show you, and this is the other side looks just like this, where somebody's been in here monkeying. And we're gonna fix all that. But yes, we ran the coach air and it was drawn from here. So this isn't gonna be too bad. We're gonna build a transition to go from there to there. And then that way it can pull correctly from here. But yes, we got to get into this thing and see what's going on with the charge. We know after testing, compressor 1 is absolutely locked up. Compressor 2 is working, but I don't like this, so we're going to pull the charge out of it and fix that also. So we're going to get in the shop and get the cover off it. All right, so you can see I've got the unit sitting out here. Just got done washing and cleaning it. I've got the new compressor in it. Look at those braze-on taps. Them ain't going to leak. So I went back and retapped both systems. Pulled vacuum on it, charged both systems because again, we don't like them clamp-ons. But new compressor's in. The only thing we got to do is update the capacitor. But new compressor's in, it's all washed and cleaned, and this one's about ready to go back together. All right, so this is the passenger side, all washed out, cleaned up, ready to go. Got the taps changed out. Compressor's changed out. Now them rascals had put a tap down in there, and I caught it when I was getting all this cleaned out of here, so I was able to braze that up. But yeah, get everything back in. It's all charged. Got the coils all painted up. I still have to change out the cap to the 70 UF for the new compressor we've got in there. But I've got the driver's side unit back in. Now, this ductwork fell out, so we're going to have to deal with that here in just a second. But it's back in and wired. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do there. So that's the next thing on the list of things to do here. All right, so here's the filter assembly. Now, remember the filter was just laying on top of the unit, so I built this nice box. Cover comes off on the front. Filter actually slides in right there, and then we bought that flex to go from there to the floor, so this thing can actually pull from inside the coach. But yeah, so this thing will bolt down. I've got the insulation around it, the foam around it, and then like I said, it'll just it'll bolt down. But built 2 of those. There's a second one I'm fixing to build out. But yeah, this is the simplest way to do this. As you can see, I've got the new filter assembly built. Filters in here, as you can see. This is where it was drawn from. It was just drawn air. We're gonna force it because when the road air, the bus air runs, it is drawn. So I'm gonna put a plate across there and close that off. But yeah, we're gonna make we've got some flexible stuff we're gonna go in between there, so that way it draws from upstairs. But this is where I'm at. I've got that repaired. The unit's actually in and wired. We're just letting it warm up a little bit. So I'm gonna get this transition in, and then we're gonna test it. So here again is the driver's side. I pretty much got this done. We just wanna run it a little bit. Now I haven't attached those yet because I'm gonna do some more testing just to make sure. But you know, there was a board across there. Man, it was making it a nightmare to get. Listen, I just deleted all that. Went in here, made a nice little bracket that L'd up to mount that to there. Looks awesome. This other side, I've got the unit in. Did the same thing over here, got rid of the board. Working on getting the transition put in. That piece came out, I had to do a little bit of finagling up inside there to get it sealed off. And then I've got my return cut in right there and taped up already. So get this done, and then I'm gonna find a place to mount that one because this one here is a little bit in the way. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that again with that one, but I may make something over here to mount it with. But either way, we're gonna mount it in there. It's gonna look awesome. All right, so we got both these units running. You can see how I did the ductwork on that. Everything's nice and neat. The little bracket to mount. the box, easy in and out. Let's go over here on the passenger side, kind of the same deal. Got everything done. Filter assembly. Now that one I had to mount up there because there wasn't no room over here. We got everything taped and looking good. Now, part of the challenge has been on this unit just the fact that that old 4-button thermostat, that's a little bit of an antique, but we got that one in the vent over, I can't remember where I stuffed that at. Oh, over here. So yeah, air flowing good there. We got air up here going now. So yeah, it's been running about 35 minutes and it's come down to 68. It was 72 in here. So it's moving some good air, but yeah, there you go. All right, well, you can see we got that one all fixed up. I mean, there was quite a bit involved in that. And again, you guys saw it. I mean, there's no way that that unit ever worked correctly from day one. I mean, it just can't. The way it was drawn, it just could never do it. So yeah, I got them all fixed up, and he's heading back. So gonna shout out to Mr. George and the guys over there at Bus Grease Monkey. If you haven't seen them on YouTube, go in there and like them. They've got some. They do some pretty neat older buses. But yeah, so safe travels to him, and thanks for watching.